heard. If you didn't know anyone or how to connect, your music wasn't getting heard. That's just the way. There was no other outlet. You had to know someone. So like once these mixtapes started kicking in, and we connected with Clue, that was really it. Because without Clue, let's just be honest, I don't know. Listen, other DJs would have played it, but Clue was Clue. Clue was the top at that time. There was no. Listen, it was great DJs before, but that time was. So I was messing with. Actually, a funny thing is, me and Swiss used to be in the studio a lot together during the Rough Rider days, and this was before Swiss had anything out. He was kind of the nephew of D, and he was like kind of behind Grease and PK, so he didn't really have anything out. So me and him were like the ones who were like, we're hungry, let's work. Now we never recorded anything, but he always gave me beats. I come to the studio while he was working, so like he gave me this beat, and it was kind of dope. And I started writing this story, which became Thesis, but I didn't finish it. And another day I was just like in the crib, and I finished writing without a beat, but I kind of went off the same flow as that when I started with the Swiss beat. Then I got with these kids Die Hard Records, and these dudes were Harlem kids. The dude who was the investor in it, his dad started pay-per-view, right? So these dudes had mad dough, and they were the ones that took me, Casino, and kind of Thumbs in. So at this time we're recording with them because now we have a way to record, and one of the kids gave me this beat, this kid named Eyewitness. He gave me this beat, and I was like, and I was like, yo, what the I was like, hold up. So I take the beat home back to the house with Styles, and I play it for Styles, and he goes, yo, what the fuck is that? Like, what is that? I'm like, dog, I don't even know. He goes, you got something for that? I go, yeah. So now I'm spitting a verse to him, and he's like, yo, this is a story. Like, how did you think of this? I said, dog, I didn't even write it to the beat. He's like, so he goes, hold up. He starts spitting this shit, and he's going like, revolve like the doors in jail, the more I try to, and I'm like, yo, what, you just wrote that? He goes, nah, I thought of this shit the other day, but it goes with this. And I go, yo. So anyway, the crazy thing about Theses is I didn't write the song to that beat, and Styles didn't write the hook to the beat, which is even more crazy. So that song came from that apartment, and then we went to my man Jay Blend's crib in the projects. Actually, the same projects where DMX used to record. That was in Mulford Gardens. And we went there to try to record it real quick. And the shit, it was so hot in the projects. It was like 1,000,000 degrees. And me and Styles were like, yo, we can't do it here. So thankfully, we didn't do it there. We kind of just messed around. And then we went to Die Hard Records down in the Village where they had their studio in Manhattan. And we recorded it there. And it was crazy. But there's one thing I have to give it to Styles for this. I was doing the verse, and I kept doing it, and Styles, he went like, time out. He came in, actually the recording where we recorded was like in a closet. He came in, he was like, yo, listen, this is like a movie. He goes, it's a movie. So what I want you to do is just talk. Talk like you're talking to me. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, just do it. Like, day turn the night so quick, like passing. So when he said that, I go, oh shit. Like, I don't even got to rap this shit. It's like, I'm narrating this song. And when I went back in, one take, I banged the whole shit out because I caught his feeling. And I have to be honest, if it wasn't for him saying that, I don't know if the song would have came out with that feeling. Because if you go back and listen to it, and I listen to it now just randomly, I was just talking. I wasn't hype. I wasn't low. I was just talking. So I would say Styles, that when he just called that timeout was like the greatest thing that ever happened to that song.
I gotta say, I gotta not be politically correct right now and say, yo, that shit is so hard. Like, it still brings me goosebumps. So for you to say that it was some, because I know how sometimes I had the same thing happen. Like it sounds like a divine intervention
Yep.
where you didn't write to the beat, but then you bring these lyrics and it's like perfect, man. Like I'm telling you, like when my man's played it in the car a couple weeks ago, I swear to you, same goosebumps, man. Like
Bro,
back
it's one of
then.
those. It's one of those songs that you just it can't be duplicated. It's just those one-on-one songs. You know, I mean, there's not really I can't really break it down even more than that. But yeah, like anytime people hit me, listen, 90% of the time when people hit me up, it's about theses. And that's great. I don't listen,
Mhm,
that's a beautiful thing. You know what
mhm.
I'm saying?
Um, what I was gonna ask you is, did you know at that moment that this will be an instant hip hop classic, man?
Hell no.
You serious?
No. I was too ignorant for anything. I don't mean ignorant as a person, but ignorant to music. That you got to remember, this is a time where like there was no internet, there was no way to get your music out unless you knew someone, A&R, DJ, radio person. There was no way you could get your music heard. There was, if you didn't know anyone or how to connect, your music wasn't getting heard. That's just the way. There was no other outlet. Was you had to know someone. So like once these mixtapes started kicking in, and we connected with Clue, that was really it. Because without Clue, let's just be honest, I don't know. Listen, other DJs would have played it, but Clue was Clue. Clue was the
That
top
was
at that time. There was
top.
no. Listen, it was great DJs before, but that time was Clue's.
Mhm.
Before that, obviously you had Doo-Wop and you had SNS and all those Kid Capri, but Ron G. But when it was Clue's time, it was Clue's time, and Clue had it for
No.
that period that we came up. I was, my first mixtape. I'm on a song with, I'm on a mixtape with one of the legendariest mixtapes of all time.
All
Show Me
time.
the Money. So it's like to come out that way. I was bugging out because to me it was just a song. But you have to understand, I didn't have songs out before that, so
Mm.
I didn't know how people would react to me until the mixtapes. And then when the mixtapes came, that was it because it was everywhere.
You right, man. To all you youngins out there, it was like a DJ Clue era back then. He was running the streets with the mixtapes. And I have to tell you, when the thesis reached us in Queens, we knew it was an instant classic, first of all, because we knew how it made us feel, and it was so hip hop, it was so New York. And you're right, it was, now that I think about it, it was so like talk to you kind of record. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, like again, I'm sitting here and I'm still in disbelief that you are right here in front of me. So thank you so much, man.
A beautiful.
What are some of your other favorite classics from your back in the day catalog, man?
Well, that we did it. The first song that was on the mixtape was called "Love or Lust," and it was me, Casino, Richie Thumbs, and Mo Money. That was the crazy introduction. We took, we flipped the Bites the Dust. We flipped, some of the classic '80s joints. Love or Lust. We flipped the Prince joint. So, you know, coming in with those with that sound and that people are used to. I love those joints because they were like the start. Obviously, Theses. My Life was a great record,
Great.
because it was just I got to talk and tell people who I am and where I come from. And, it was a great introduction. And it was a song called My America, and K Slay played
Yes.
it. Um, and that was another joint that was just a lyrical song that I love. But yeah, I'd say the early, just those early, just because of what I knew, what it did for my career. Those will always be like important to me. Those early records.
I must say, man, besides being a musical and hip hop genius, you are such a great storyteller, man. I'm telling you this from the heart, and someone that's also an MC. You're such a great storyteller. I wouldn't be surprised if you got books out there, man, because you
Yo,
know,
I'm working on my documentary right now. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it for me. Obviously people have done documentaries, and I don't want to do it
mm,
the quote unquote way everyone else does it because I feel like people don't. people don't have the stories. Whether people forgot
Yes.
shit. Listen, I grew up, I didn't smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
my brain, I did all that shit with no weed. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
For real. So like a lot of people like don't know that, but like, yeah, I, so hit 40s and, drinking shit, I was a drinker, but like I was never a smoker. And I think like, I just remember everything.
Wow.
And I kept everything, memorabilia. I have stuff that sometimes I'll post stuff here and there, but like I have shit that no one has. So, but me as a storyteller, it's just like, also you got to remember my stories are fresh stories. A lot of these dudes that have been out for 20 something years got to tell every story.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have stories that no one heard because,
Yes.
but they're from, being around Biggie and being around Nas, Jermaine Dupri and all these dudes, Clark Kent, Jay-Z, different interactions here and there. So I was like, like you said, I love telling stories. I got to tell in my life, but like no one could tell your story except you.
Mm-hmm.
You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's people that
Facts.
want to like dive in, not you, not podcasts. I'm talking about in general. Like if you never told your story, why are you gonna let someone else tell your story when you have, especially now, you could do everything yourself. You don't need anyone. You don't need someone to come in and produce. You could
Facts.
just do everything and put it out. So I
Facts.
enjoy talking stories. I actually started a little thing called VC's Thesis, where like once a week I'm gonna just drop a few stories here and there
That's
because
what's
I
up.
love bringing it back, and people want to hear that shit.
Yes.
People want to hear the old untold stories. They don't want
Yes.
to hear the shit that's been recycled for the last 20 years.
I'm there, man. And please let me know once you do that so I can leave links and everything under the video, man. And I'm there, man. I would love to see something like that as a fan. Again, I know I don't have you here for a long time. And if you're ever want to come back, it will be a privilege and an honor as it is right now. I have a few more questions.
So
What
good, man.
what was it like meeting Biggie? Because like to me as a fan, you guys were like on the same level, like Genovese and Nas and Biggie. To me, like when I was a kid, all y'all was on the same level. But what was it like to you meeting Biggie and being with him in the studio and all that?
We got to understand these guys came out. You're talking about 94. You're talking about
Yeah.
92. Like high school and shit like that. So for me, these guys were the guys that I looked up to. You
Oh
know what I'm saying?
wow.
These were the guys that like, you had the Run DMCs, you had the LLs, but those were the OGs, the KRS, Cool G Rap. But Nas and Biggie were the guys that were like, yo, how do you get there? You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? But in your mind, you're like, you could never get to their level. That's how I
mm,
looked at it. Like I looked at, not saying I never was the type to be like to feel I couldn't spit with someone,
mhm,
but you got to understand when you look up to someone in your mind, it's like they're always here, and but that's okay. You know
mhm.
what I'm saying? So for Nas and Big, like, listen, like I told you, meeting Nas and to know he was that genuine, listen, that made everything. And then meeting Big was Big was just a good guy.
Mhm.
He wasn't loud. He was funny. He was just very calm. He was mad respectful, and he was on top of his shit. I was just the kid coming up,
Wow.
but we ended up being in the same room one night, and my people's left, his people's left, and he was just looking at me and was like, "Yo, is that your real name?" And I was
Mm,
like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Yo, you're gonna blow, dude."
mm.
That's how we talk. And like that shit made me go crazy. And then he was like,
Wow.
"Yo," he was like, "I'm starting a new junior mafia. Maybe we could work something out."
Wow.
So I was supposed to meet him like around May, and he passed away in March. So I never knew if anything would have happened with that. But I mean, looking back, you think like Genovese, Junior Mafia,
Mhm.
his mind was probably like, yo, like if I get this kid in Junior
Yeah.
Mafia, like, and
Over. It's
you know what
over.
I'm saying? It would have been crazy. So, but hey, it is what, shit happens. But listen, another dude who was just a good guy. Like,
I'm so glad. I'm so happy to hear that, man, because again, like a lot of my heroes disappointed me. I want to keep the story about you, but I want to ask you, since you know like the inside of this stuff, do you think that Biggie wanted to leave Bad Boy? Like, because I heard like stories like that.
what's funny? Back then, I would have never thought he wanted to leave Bad Boy. Looking back now, where people able to go back and whatever happened with Puff, but you got to understand at that time, Puff was like Puff was like our Quincy Jones. Like I don't know what he was doing. Like you just knew that like Puff was if you can get near
Yeah,
Puff, then
yeah,
you got a chance to fucking be one of the best. And
yeah,
you know, whatever happened now, that's like something I can't really because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
like, but at that time, I always felt like Big and Puff were like, you know, Puff got the best out of Big.
Mm,
You know, if Big would have lived, you know, would he probably skipped out or went on his own? Yeah, but that's normal because he would have.
mhm.
He was so high up in the game. What else is he gonna do? You know what I'm saying? But I never got that feeling back then. Like I said, I was
Okay.
very young. I was like, I had the blinders on. I really wasn't like the type to be like excited to be like. I wasn't like. I felt like I should be there, and I felt like they were just regular people. Like I never
Mhm,
got like that's why I don't have pictures because like back
mhm.
then we're from the street. We don't
Yep.
take pictures. You know,
No, no.
we don't fucking yo, hey Big, can I get a picture with you? Like
Nah,
back then, yo, dogs, you know, they'd
nah.
be like, what? A picture? Like, so you gotta understand where we
Yeah,
come from. We didn't do pictures.
exactly.
You know, maybe we did pictures like if you went out and they had the dude that took the Polaroid and shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
remember like for $10.
yeah.
But we didn't go like, yo, take a flick. Like, get
Nah,
out.
nah.
So
Pictures with some police shit, bro. You could
that's
get
what I'm
smacked
saying.
if
And
you
you,
just.
yo, you were
Yeah,
soft if you said that. Like
yeah,
we just
bro.
didn't do it. But you look back and you wish you had some shit.
Yes,
But
yes. Um, besides being an incredible MC and a legend to all of us, I know that you've been busy and like in in the past years, and I wanted to ask, what has Genovese been up to all these years? Because from what I've learned, that you've been doing a lot of community work and things like that. And what have you been up to, and what is a part of your mission today?
well, when I lived in LA, I was running a TV and music company about 12 years ago, and I was with Lamar Odom. I was doing a lot of shit with them, and um, you know, a record company that had licensing. I was doing a lot of shit in LA, and I was with a I volunteered for a place called School on Wheels, and what they did was amazing place. They took these kids from Skid Row in LA. These kids lived, they had nowhere to live. They were homeless kids. So
Wow.
we would go in the middle of the worst place in LA. If anyone knows Skid Row, I was volunteering there, walking through tents of people lying, you know,
Wow.
like you gotta this is only 20 minutes from Hollywood, but these people will like have tents and drug paraphernalia everywhere. And we would take these kids after school and bring them to the community center, and we would like tutor them and mentor them. And so once I got in that, it was like, man, you can make a difference, you know, changing. Maybe there's the next Dr. Dre here, or the next, you know, like Mariah Carey, or the next whatever. So like that was always in my head about helping out and, you know, trying to be, you know, you're trying to find talent, bro, because that's really all it is. There's so many kids out here that have talent, but if they're not in the right situation, how is it going to come out? How are they going to get to the masses? How are they going to get a chance to play the piano or to sing or to like, you know, make a beat? So that was a beautiful thing. I mean, I still keep in contact with those people, but you know, when I left LA, I met my wife, had a kid. I've been just really for the last 9 years being a dad, you know, and it's
Wow.
like when you're older, you know, you appreciate being a dad. When you're young, if I had a kid when I was 22, I wouldn't have had the head that I have now. That I'm almost 50, you know, where I just want to be the cool dad, you know. I just want to
Mm,
make sure I'm there for every day and give her the stuff that I never had. You know, I never had a family setting. I never had breakfast with mom, dad, and you know, so all those taking her to school and you know, getting her a dog and having having a house and shit like that
mm,
that I never had. So those things became more important than anything else. So, but like me being a creator, I'm always creating, man. I have the studio right in my office. I'm still doing music. You know, I put out a few joints. If you go on Spotify,
mhm.
you hear I put a baseball joint out. I put a few things out. I put some lost files. So I'm always being creative. You know, I got a clothing line, Never Follow Trends. I got that right here. This is so if you go to Never Follow Trends, I've been doing that. You know, podcast. Listen, I'm a creator, so I'm
Yes.
always working. And if I don't create, I'm not good. Straight
Yes.
up, like I'm not
Yes.
that's and you probably know what I
Mhm.
mean. Like if we're not creating, look, you're creating right now, just doing the
Yes, sir.
show. So we all have our thing, you know, we all have work to do, we all have family to take care of, but to be creative and to do it on your own pace. And ain't nothing better than that, man.
It's I always say that God gives us, at least, it gives us many gifts, but God gives us one particular gift, and it's our responsibility in order to fulfill this gift and also be responsible to share that gift with the world. Like, imagine, little did you know, you were impacting a young kid like me from Ukraine, from coming from the third world in the 90s, where you were becoming my hero, and changing my life and helping me go through things, man. Little do you know, man. So I thank you for that. Also, I have to say, God bless you, man, for the work that you do. And for everyone that's a father out there, this is the most important thing that you can do in the world, man. Because you are raising the next generation. We don't want the next generation to be just some street kids running around. So it's the most important mission that you can ever do, man. So thank you. God bless you, really, for doing that. You said, now I know you still got bars, because I was on your gram. Genovese has still got bars. I'm not surprised. Can we as fans expect a album, man?
So in the last, I would say, 2 years, I've been working on a project with a few people. Both of them are about 80% done. They're all produced by one project. I'm not going to get into who it is, but one of the projects is with one producer. The other project is with another one, but they're like 80% done. So like in between that, I've been putting out little singles here and there. But yeah, in the next, I would say this year, and then before the year ends, I'm gonna have one of those definitely out, and maybe both. But yeah, I have a few projects that are probably 80% done that I've been just sitting on, waiting for the right time, waiting for the right features that I'm waiting for. But yeah, I'm working, and you know what? It's like sometimes in hip hop, there's a thing where like if you get a certain age, you can't rap anymore or
Nah,
you're old.
nah.
And listen, it's the only genre of music that's like that. Know that. There's people that are, 80 years old that still go on tour and no one
Yeah.
cares. So you have to understand, like, hip hop has to get that shit out of their head where, like, listen, my era is all bars, right? We if you weren't nice with that, so like you gotta understand, we'll always have that lane. And if you
Always.
look at all the dudes from my era, the Cams, the Maces, the Locks, they're still current,
Still.
right? These 22-year-old kids are still going to see them. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Still watching their shows or whatever they're doing. So we have to be blessed that we're from that era. We're from a timeless era, from an era where you had to have talent, you had to be an MC,
Original.
you had to walk it, talk it, you have to do everything. It wasn't easy. So but it's a blessing, man. I always appreciate people like you. People that hit me up, people that hit me up from different countries, from different whatever like that. And anyone can hit me up, as you know. And I'm telling you right here, I'm a regular person. I'm never
Wow.
on that shit. I'm never gonna be. I'm always accessible. Ask me a question. You want to whatever you want to do, I'm here. Because like you said, giving back is the greatest thing you can do.
Wow.
So that's all I have to say. That's all. My mom always said one thing: never do to someone what was done to you.
Wow.
So I always took that. If someone blackballed you or didn't let you
Mhm.
get, there's no reason to be like that to the next one, right? That's the only way we're going to grow as a country, as anything. We're going to grow is if we help. So that's where I stand.
Thank you for those jewels, man. And like me being from Ukraine and always keeping in touch with people in Ukraine and in Russia and in Eastern Europe. I don't know if you know this, but there was a time where you were huge out there, bro. Like,
See, this is where I missed the thing. Where I wish I had someone like you or someone to be like, hey, let's get you out here. We'll book 20 shows. But yo, listen, my boy Fredro from Onyx,
yeah,
one of the best guys.
he's staying in
He
Russia.
listen, he performs so much in Russia. He has a crib out there. So
Yep.
like that's the beauty of hip hop. Like
Mhm.
you don't even have to have a show in America. But yo, there's so many other places that would love to have someone. So I always listen. Hey, listen, if you always if you ever hear something, people doing some shit, keep me in mind because I would
Yes.
love to get out there anywhere and do some shit for the people. Because ain't nothing like that, man. Listen, to have someone like you or to have someone hit me up from another country, man. When I started doing this, I only thought people in New York heard me. You
Nah.
know what I'm saying? So the way music has evolved and traveled, it's a great thing.
Yeah, man. And please, when when we're done here, please email me your links so I could post all of them in the description, to make sure that people have the opportunity that I had to actually get in touch with you and go see what you're doing and everything like that. And we wanna make sure we support our legends, man. Because there's so much you've done for us, so we wanna at least do a little something by supporting us. Nowadays it's so easy, man. All you do is you click on the link, you're there, bro. Like, it's not like us. We used to go to, the canal street to look for these, mixtapes and all that, man.
Yeah, we had to struggle to do everything, to market ourselves, to get flyers, to get tapes. To listen, it wasn't easy, but that's why we're hustlers, and that's why we were able to adapt to any time, right? Any place, anywhere you live, we were adaptable, because we had no other choice. We weren't able to push a button. We're a different breed, you know.
Listen, again, I cannot thank you enough. God bless you. I want you to know something. I've been saying this to like my close people today. Remember that you are a blessing and you are a gift to all of us, to the world. Um, so I call it a LiteCast. I don't call it a podcast. It's called Proof to Me that You're Alive. So the last question that I always ask my guests is, what is the meaning of life to you?
That's easy. Finding your happiness. That's it. Because at the end of the day, if you're fine, if what you're searching for every day is not what makes you happy, and you're trying to be someone you're not, you're never going to be happy. You might be happy on the internet, on social media, but when you turn the lights off, you're miserable. And it's not about money either, because I know plenty of people that are rich that are miserable too. Once you find out like what makes you happy, yeah, your happiness could be the most simplest thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see people in life. Listen, I had an aunt and uncle who lived in the same apartment for 50 years, but they were fucking always happy.
Wow.
They died. They lived to 99. My uncle lived to 93, and they were happy forever because they were good. They were content. They found what they wanted. They found out that life was simple. And I tell people all the time, like, just find your happiness, man. If your happiness is to live near the beach, then go near the beach. If your happiness is to fucking, is to whatever it is, just find it, do it, and go. It's the easiest way to think of it. And it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with any of that shit. It's just finding your happy space, and whatever works for you. Then once you find it, you'll know. But just find that, because once you get to a certain age, all the other shit really isn't important anymore.
That's so dope, man. Thank you for these jewels. And please remember that you are always a friend. We're always your biggest fans. Anytime, if you have ever time to come back, because there's so many things I wanted to ask you. So you're welcome back anytime. Please send me your links. And just again, I cannot thank you enough for doing this. God bless you. And I gotta tell you, because me and my wife, we were checking out your Instagram, man. You still look good, bro. You
Hey,
look
listen.
good. You look fresh. You look young, man.
Hey, listen. That's the other side of it, right? We got to stay. Listen. Once you start thinking of an age, you're done. I tell people all the time, when you stop saying, "Oh, I'm 40, oh, I'm 50, oh, I'm 45." Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go find some guys that are 70 that are in better shape than they were when they were 50, because they stopped looking at age. The shit means nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just in your mind. Feel fresh. Do what makes you feel good. Do little things. Get out. Get out for your walks. Get some sun. That's it. That's all it is. We all have our hard days, right? But
Mhm.
always remember this. You have a hard day, you have a fucked up day, don't bring it to the next day. It
Wow.
ends, go to bed, and you wake up tomorrow, you're lucky enough to be fresh and to start over. That's it.
Listen, man. So you're definitely dropping jewels the same way you used to be dropping jewels. So if you ever have time and you're dropping these albums and these podcasts, man, please, man, we need them, especially right now in this day and age, man. We need them. The world needs them, man. We'll be there to support you all the way, because we need to hit them jewels, man.
So listen, I appreciate you. I appreciate, you know, everything you said. You're very, you know, you're candid, you're honest, you know, and listen, nowadays in time, the way the world is, it's not the same than when we grew up, right? You know, people that don't have the same interaction with the
Sad.
internet, you know, there's no communication, you know, especially with these young kids. So like, you know, the way you are, the way you're out there, you know, keep doing what you're doing. I'll
Thank
support you in any way. I appreciate the love. You need me back, I got you, brother.
Thank you so much, man. God bless you. Give my regards to your beautiful family. And this was Genovese, man, the legend, the myth, and an amazing human being. So thank you, sir.
Peace.
Thank you. Have a good one. We out.